I was asked the other day by a friend of mine how to build discipline because he has been struggling with discipline, and Baki came to mind for me. And I figured if he was asking this question, you may be asking the same question yourself as well, as how can I build discipline? And I, from my own personal experience, can let you know that I am very disciplined because, for one, I've been able to increase my weight, my body composition from weightlifting from 170 all the way up to 180, then 180 all the way down to 165 because I was using self-discipline. I've been able to wake up at 4:30 a.m. I've been able to go to bed at 9 a.m. at night, make videos for the past 25 days at this point in time. So clearly I can speak on discipline, and I'll use Baki as an example from the anime in a couple of aspects because he had to have discipline when it came down to training. He had to understand that he couldn't be slacking off all the time if he wanted to be able to beat his dad. He had to be putting in work when other people weren't watching. And I believe that's the thing where people seem to have a misconception of what discipline is discipline is what we do when nobody's watching. And there's this guy, Jocko Willink, which if you've never heard of him, highly recommend looking him up. He's written or has a saying, discipline equals freedom. And I can vouch for that myself personally because when I first started getting out on this whole journey around self-development, personal growth, and giving up anime for a short period of time, that's what I learned a lot. It was if I'm disciplined with my diet, then I'm going to have a lot more freedom with what I can do when I do decide to, say, have a pizza or a burger or donuts, whatever it may be, because I was disciplined 5 days out of the week. Another option when it came down to being disciplined was just all right, if in college, this is what I would end up doing, was I wanted to smoke weed because I was smoking a lot of weed back in college. One of my roommates had a bong, and we typically end up doing that, and I really enjoyed that. Back then, it's just I was using it more as a reward. So I needed to be disciplined throughout the day by doing my homework first, getting all my classwork done, doing the things that I needed to do so that then when I did end up smoking, I was able to just kind of zone out, forget about the world, and just have just overall relaxation, which I really enjoy that as well. Another area of me being disciplined was okay, I want to discipline myself to be able to read one chapter per day. If I want to read more, cool, I can read more. If not, don't even have to worry about it. So I would set out a goal of all right, we're just going to read one chapter. Once the chapter's over, we close the book and we're good to do whatever we need to do after that point. And for me to be able to do this, I would put my phone out of reach. I'd put my phone in different areas of the house or wherever it was, so I wasn't being distracted. I was also put it on do not disturb. Also, at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of people that I was talking to because I was in a solitude, lonely state, I guess you could say. It was self-imposed, I did it on myself, so I could become more disciplined. If you have other people, friends of yours, like my buddy, I was telling him, he has a lot of other people that are wanting him to play Fortnite with him all the time and play video games. And once he starts playing that video game, he starts to go down this rabbit hole of then he feels he can't get back on track with improving his life. And I was I get that, man, entirely, because I've been in the same shoes. It's why I would make it very difficult for myself to do the things that were easy for me or that I enjoyed doing. So an example was for me to be able to stop watching TV or anime or playing video games, I made it next to impossible for me to want to play those video games, or at least I would add in extra steps. So I would unplug my TV, I'd disconnect the PlayStation from the wall, I'd even move the TV into my room because me growing up, I never had a TV in my room. So it was an extra step because for me personally, my bedroom is my domicile. It's used for two things. I think you guys can figure out what the two things are. And that's all my bedroom has ever been used for. So I never really wanted to watch TV in my room. So when I would put my TV in there, it was removing that distraction from out of sight. And now, right now, I have a very big TV in my current apartment. And I look at it, but it's not I don't feel an urge to watch it every single day. I obviously do now because I make these videos and I need to be able to watch certain movies or TV shows to be able to create these videos, to be able to share these lessons from using the actual real life experiences that I've had. And I figure that if I've been able to do the discipline, you can do it as well too. It's a matter of breaking those steps down into manageable steps that you can use to help you become more disciplined. So if we look at, say, how Baki was training within his said training arc when he was defeating Org, he was going out and he was fighting people that he needed to fight. He was running into the right people. He was showing his skills. He was practicing. And then he went into his mind and he started training there. You can start training within your mind to build up that discipline if that is something that you want to do. The best way that I found to do it was by giving myself a time block. So whenever I'd get done with work, I'd come home. I'd be all right, no TV, nothing, no TV, no video games. Don't go into my old habits. Let's pick up a book. And for it to make it as easy as possible for me to pick up a book, I would put the book on the couch next to me compared to, say, the video game console or the remote control or something like that. So when I sat down on the couch, when I get back home, it's all right, I already have a book next to me. Let me just start reading. If you guys are looking or wondering what books to read to help you understand this concept a little bit more. Extreme Ownership is a good one by Jocko Willink, which you can recommend, or I would recommend. Another ones you guys can just comment down below, and I can always include those there for you too. So as I started doing that, I was able to build up the discipline, and the discipline was able to transfer into other areas of my life. So like when I was going to the store, this is a really big thing that I enjoyed to build up the discipline, because I'm a firm believer in how you do one thing is how you do everything. And what I would do to build up this discipline was I would go to the store hungry, and I wouldn't allow myself, allow is a weird word. I think I talked about it in another video where it's like, it's giving us permission in a sense. So like I'll say allow again. I wouldn't allow myself, because at the time that was what I was doing, to buy said cookie on that first day, or like that said sweet or whatever it was whenever I would go to the store when I was hungry. It would only be the items that I had on my list for the meal prepping that I was going to be doing that week. And the meal prepping did help me build up discipline as well too. So for me, being able to have these characters or these traits of going to the store and not buying said food the first week like that I really wanted, it helped me build up that discipline muscle, helped me increase my willpower, so that then when I would go to the store next time, either if I really wanted it, I could get it then, so it wasn't going to be an impulse buy because like I wanted it last week. Most of the time when I do that, I wouldn't end up wanting it the next week, so I wouldn't end up getting it. If I did still want it next week, then it's like, all right, cool, I would get this. Too often I think we give into simple pleasures, things that aren't really serving us in any meaningful way. I wasn't wanting that to be the case any longer, which is why I started to change the whole angle and aspects around what I was doing when it was coming to building discipline, because the more disciplined that I could be in one area of my life, I knew that I could be disciplined in other areas of my life. And with this, I was able to become stronger mentally and physically, because I became disciplined of going to the gym 5 days a week and lifting the weights and asking people questions. And it was a big snowball effect that all started by me just having that first initial step. And that's why if you do want to build discipline, if you do want to have more clarity or purpose or just like overall focus in your life, I'll be doing a live stream where I can help you understand like maybe areas that you're lacking or you're slipping up on or that you're wanting to improve. And I'll just ask you questions to help you have a better understanding of maybe what you're going through and trying to find a direction in your life. Because it really does all start with one, discipline, and then self-discipline, and an understanding of like where we want to go in life. And if you want to be like Baki, if you want to be strong, if you want to be toned, if you want to be able to beat your dad, then it does start with discipline. And if you don't have the straight up discipline, it's good to ask questions and find people that already have been disciplined to be able to create said schedule. Awesome. Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I didn't really talk much about Baki in this episode. I'm trying things a little bit different for the end of this month to see if things work out in a little bit different way. And if you do like this content, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.